We're making a Spanish tortilla. It's eaten all over Spain, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's a side, it's a main, it can be whatever you want it to be, and it's really yummy, really yummy. It has nothing, you're gonna say this is a tortilla, because it looks nothing like the way we think of tortillas. It doesn't, it's more like an omelet or a frittata than what we consider a tortilla. The main ingredients are potatoes, eggs, and for flavoring you use onion and garlic, and then salt and pepper, olive oil, that's it. It's really simple. So you can use russet potatoes, but I like to use red potatoes or yellow potatoes. Red potatoes actually are bigger, so that's nice when you're peeling them. Otherwise, the russet potatoes will work just fine, but they're more likely to break down more, and you want a sturdier potato in your Spanish tortilla. Unlike the potato, you want this to be, you don't want this to be in big chunks. This is a flavoring, not a texture. It's time for the garlic. It's kind of optional, but I like garlic, so I include it. In Spain, I couldn't figure out what made this taste so good, so I'm assuming it was garlic, because it was good. Time for the potatoes. I'm gonna demonstrate how to slice them by hand. It's a lot more time consuming, and honestly, I hate slicing potatoes by hand. All right. First, after you've chopped everything, sliced everything, everything's prepped, what you do is heat your pan, put a bunch of oil in it, olive oil, and then put the potatoes and onions in. You want them to cook. You want them to be pretty much fully cooked by the time you begin with the egg part. Otherwise, you get big, crunchy potatoes, and that wouldn't be very good. Once they're cooked, it'll take 10-20 minutes, depending on how thickly sliced your potatoes are, what kind they are, etc., etc. And then you beat eggs with salt and pepper. You can use milk, but that's not necessary. And pour it into the pan with your sauteed potatoes or cooked potatoes and onions. Then you wait for the bottom to cook, and this is the hard part, it's flipping it over. And so you flip it over, put a plate over top of your frying pan, flip it that way, use mitts, it's probably a good idea, and then slide it back into your frying pan. But you have to make sure that the bottom really is cooked, and it's really almost cooked to the middle. You don't, otherwise it'll fall apart, which is okay, you can recover from that, but it'll be, if you want it perfect, that's what you do. And if you're afraid it's not cooked through, you can even stick it in the oven. If your frying pan can go in the oven, you can put it in the oven. Ah, perfect. Oh, it's heavy. Now this smells so good. All right. Time to see if it turned out. So after you have loosened it, you can slide it out onto your plate and it'll fall apart probably, but that's okay. We are none of us perfectionists. Ha! If you are, then you shouldn't be making this. Or unless you're Spanish, in which case you already know how to make it right.